The Searcy family lives here. Mary Beth Searcy is a teenage student. Right now, her older married sister and her baby are visiting. Her father's working in another town, and her younger brother is spending the night with a friend. So this evening, just the two girls, their mother, and the baby will be alone in this house. They have no phone, and the nearest neighbor is a mile or so across the woods.
Mary Beth? Mary Beth, would you please hang something over the window? There's a draft on the baby.
Yeah, okay. Just a minute.
Mary Beth, would you please hurry up? This draft's going to give the baby a cold.
Okay, okay. just a minute.
It was a long night of terror. In a few minutes, Mary Beth was revived, and the three women, shaking in fear, freezing at every sound in the darkness, waited out the long hours of blackness. The baby slept peacefully through it all. Next morning, they would discover their dead kitten, completely unmarked. Apparently, she had simply been scared to death. The beauty of the bottoms under soft moonlight is transformed into dark, menacing danger. And the shadows of the night trigger your imagination into being places where possibly the creature is lurking, because you know he's out there somewhere. Like this 13-year-old boy, you've grown up as a woodsman and hunter. You never miss an opportunity to get yourself a deer. Yes, there's no doubt about it. The dogs are hot on the trail, chasing the deer in this direction. Later, they found 2-inch saplings broken down by the creature in his pain and fury. They saw crushed underbrush and bloodstains, which, in the excitement, no one thought to gather a sample of. But they did not find the creature. The terrifying stories of face-to-face encounters with the creature triggered the Fouke community into action. A big hunt was organized, with some of the best hunting dogs in Arkansas and Texas involved. They even brought in some famous dogs from Tennessee. I got to go along, and I still vividly recall how I was trembling with excitement. We had heard that earlier some other dogs had refused to trail the creature, cowing in fear and running back at the first whiff of his sour pig pen smell. But we were confident our dogs would get the job done.
Boys don't what it's all about. Yeah. Hey, Earl, where'd that old boy go across them dogs in here? Yeah, see that sure. Where you get that black sand, right? That old blue boy, he's out of that litter by that old long-nosed Dick Willie. Pretty good dog, too. Just when old Henry Red Dog crossed the trail, there won't be no doubt it's him. You're right. Might not be too long. Something that runs on two legs here. I can't wait to get it. What about that other group? Y'all hear the dogs trailing up there?
While several groups hunted on foot, others scouted designated areas on horseback. While we made our way along the dirt road he had been crossing, the men on horseback swept across the woodlands along the creek areas. About this time, our dog struck his trail where he'd crossed the road.
Go get him. They found his trail. Go get him. Attaboy, trail now. Get him, brother.
You've never seen a more embarrassed and angry group of dog owners. Not a one of these famous hunting dogs would trail the creature's scent. They whined, tucked their tails, and came running back, obviously scared. I was sure disappointed. Despite the failure of the dogs to trail the creature, several groups of hunters kept going far into the night. Later, we got word that one hunting party had got the creature to scream angrily back at a wounded rabbit call, but moved deeper into the forest when they tried to get closer. The hunters were interested in plunging into thick woods in pitch darkness, knowing he was out there. Often I've tried to imagine how the creature must feel, since his very appearance and the sounds he makes frightened us. Our immediate reaction was to try to kill him. I suppose if a strange-looking creature from another world showed up, he'd get the same reception. Actually, at first, the creature didn't try to harm anybody. But now, after being hunted and hurt, he suddenly disappeared. So far as we know, he wasn't seen again for 8 years. Where did he go? Well, we believe he simply headed back deeper and deeper into the bottoms, beyond the reach of men. Only the alligator and wolf, crane and possum, and 1,000 other wild creatures heard his occasional lonely cries ringing out over his watery domain.
is where the story plays, a world on which we seldom gaze, a page from the book of yesterday, birds and beasts and wind and water, here beneath the bright blue sky, no man's smoke blinds the eagle's eye, and things that crawl or swim or fly, feed and breed and live and die.
Seasons passed. Summers into falls, winters into springs, and somewhere in the remote wilderness of the bottoms, the creature spent his days.
Sulphur River flows, rising when the storm cloud blows, and this is where the creature goes, safe within a world he knows. Perhaps he dimly wonders why there is no other such as I, to touch, to love before I die, to listen to my lonely cry.
None of us Falk boys would admit it, but for a long time, knowing the creature might be around had put a damper on our pack trips back into the wilderness. But as time passed, and stories and conversation about the Falk monster died down, teenage boys again began to go off on long camping trips in the bottoms. Travis Crabtree is the kind of fearless outdoor kid that would have gone anyway, even knowing the creature was around. There's nothing Travis likes better than to spend the weekend camping on one of the hilltop islands created by high water deep in the bottomland.
Hey, Travis Crabtree, wait a minute for me. Let's go back in the bottom, back where the fish are biting, where all the world's inviting, and nobody sees the flowers bloom but me. Travis Crabtree, do you see what I see? On the gentle winds of morning, a million birds are singing, like the bells of heaven ringing, and nobody sees the flowers bloom but me. Drop me on a patch of land, never stepped upon my man, where the crystal water flows deep, while the falcon flies high across the yellow-eyed sky, fly. Lord, ain't it great to be free? Hey, Travis Crabtree, it's the right life for me. Roaming alone in the bottom, while the birds and beasts are crying, because the sun is dying and nobody sees the flowers bloom but me. And nobody sees the flowers bloom but me. And nobody sees the flowers bloom but me.
When he's down in the bottoms, Travis always stops off for a visit and a cup of coffee with Herb Jones. Herb Jones is a man who likes a lot of privacy. He's been living alone in these bottoms for the past 20 years.
Well, Travis.
Travis always enjoys these visits with Herb and never fails to bring him tobacco and other supplies. Herb can spin yarns for hours about his experiences with the wild creatures of the bottomland. Herb tells Travis to be on the lookout for a big old wild boar with double curled tusks he spotted a day or two earlier. Herb limps because he once accidentally shot part of his foot away in a boating accident. Although he was all alone, he made it out of the bottoms to a doctor.
Yeah, I guess kind of like a rheumatism. I've been living down here by myself for a long time. About 14 miles by boat from my place to the nearest road. And it's a pretty good walk to town. Them Crabtree boys, especially that Travis, always drop by to see me when they come hunting or fishing. They always bring me tobacco and sugar and stuff like that. Even a bottle of wine every once in a while. Did you notice my bottle tree on the way in? I use them bottles as floats on my trot lines. I catch some mighty big catfish and buffalo on them lines. There's an old crane flies over every day. Looks at my place. I don't know what he's looking for. Once you get to know these bottoms, you never lack for something to do. People always ask me why I stay down here. I tell them I stay because I like it better here than I would anywhere else. Looks like they could figure that out for themselves. And another thing, people always ask me, have I seen the Fouke monster? Let me tell you something. There ain't no such thing. I've been living here in these bottoms for better than 20 years. I ain't never seen or heard no monster.
What was that?
I don't know, but let's get out of here.
The creature was back. Once again, the lure of civilization had brought him out of the wilderness. newspaper headlines would herald the return of the Fouke monster, and people would get together around Fouke to relate the latest rumors on the creature. Every dead animal found in the forest was blamed upon him. This dog and others found dead might well be his victims. Excitement in the community reached a new peak when a farmer named O.H. Kennedy discovered these strange three-toed footsteps in Willie Smith's bean field. Radio, newspaper, and television coverage resulted in nationwide publicity.
There it is. Must not be over 4 inches wide.
Mr. Kennedy, you say you found these tracks late Sunday. Now, was that late yesterday afternoon?
Yes, sir. Just before sundown. My wife and I went out for a ride. She's been feeling poorly lately. And we decided to stop by the bean field to see if the ground was too wet to plow. We called Willie Smith right away.
Mr. Kennedy, do you think this creature could be a Sasquatch?
Sasquatch? I don't believe I know what that is, sir.
Well, the Sasquatch was a very giant tribe of very shy people. They live mostly in the woods up in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, I didn't see anybody. All I've seen, sir, is these tracks.
Well, now, doesn't the Sasquatch have a normal 5 toes? This thing here has only 3 toes.
Yes, and the adult Sasquatch footprint is bigger, too. It's 18 inches long on the average.
Could these be gorilla tracks?
No, I don't think it's a gorilla. A gorilla has 5 toes and very seldom moves upright on 2 legs for very long. This thing had had to drop down on all 4s to travel this far.
What about a orangutan? This is the same thing people around here have reported seeing over the past few years. He's reddish-brown, and that's the same color as orangutan.
Well, I don't think this could be orangutan. The number of the toes are wrong.
Excuse me, Mr. Kennedy, you spent a lot of time working in this field, right? Did you ever see tracks like this any here before?
No, sir. I can't say that I have. There's a lot of fresh animal tracks around this field all the time. Deer and wolf and bobcat and all kinds of other tracks, but I've never seen anything like these before.
Well, Mr. Kennedy, did you ever hear anything out of the ordinary down here?